Nancy Chaitis Espinosa. I'm a school board member for the Elk Grove Unified School District. I'm joined today by my colleague Bobby Singh Allen, who is also a trustee for the Elk Grove Unified School District. My colleague Jacqueline Moreno, who is director for the Consumers Community Services Board Board of Directors, and many of our fellow women in public life and our allies, male and female, from the city of Elk Grove. We're gathered here today to take a stand and to say we're not willing to take it anymore. Some of us are going to share our stories with you about the harassment and abuse that we have shared, that we have experienced either at the hands or at the direction or encouragement of Elk Grove Mayor Steve Lee. And we're going to culminate today by reiterating our ask for a censure tonight when the Elk Grove City Council meets. First, I want you to hear from my colleague, Jacqueline Moreno.
So the recent Me Too movement has placed the harassment of women in the spotlight. It's called for safer communities, safer workplaces, safer cities, and safer states. And by coming forward today, I hope to do that for my city, the city that I love. As most of you know, I was repeatedly harassed and intimidated by a paid campaign staffer of Mayor Lee's in the 2018 campaign cycle. He commented on my appearance, excluded me from opportunities, positioned himself in doorways to block the way for me. This staffer called me sexist names, and knowing that I am a sexual assault survivor, consistently referred to me as Me Too, mocking the movement. I told the mayor of the harassment over and over and over again, and he failed to act. Instead, he sided with the abuser. Misogyny and sexism existed long before Mayor Lee's rise to power, and they will exist long after he's gone. What I endured is not unique. Many women that dare to seek power experience the same things in all kinds of settings. It's time that we focus on solutions so that we can work to create a safer city for our daughters and our granddaughters. The policy recommendations that I'm here to advocate for, and that most of us here have signed on to in support of, are number one, we need to strengthen the city's harassment policy, including more accountability for elected officials, just like I spearheaded at CSD in 2019. Elected officials need to go through harassment training annually, and they need to sign a pledge that they'll speak up if they see harassment occurring. If they see something, they need to say something. Number two, there needs to be a clear reporting and investigation process for both employees and for residents. When I was being harassed as a resident of Elk Grove, there was no mechanism in place that I could use to report the harassment online. This needs to change, and we need to create more accountability for the city in that capacity. Number three, we need to work to create a third-party compliance hotline for both residents and for employees, that they can make reports of discrimination and harassment in this capacity. This will increase accessibility and provide an opportunity to make reports anonymously, something that I was not afforded. Lastly, I'm calling on city leadership to create a citywide committee on the status of women and girls. And that this committee can really take a look at the things that exist that disproportionately affect women and girls in our community. Homelessness, domestic violence, sexual assault, harassment, and abuse. And that can report back to the city so that the city can make policies and programs based on that data. The time has come, Elk Grove. It's time that we tear down the barriers that exist for women. Stronger women make for a stronger community. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to Trustee Singh Allen.
Good morning. My name is Bobby Singh Allen. I am a trustee with the Elk Grove Unified School District. We have a bully at City Hall with a long history of abusing his oath of office. He has failed the women in this community, and he has failed as our mayor. He lacks human decency, respect, integrity. We are here today to say enough is enough to Mayor Steve Lee. We need a mayor that works for the people and not their own self-interest. We need a mayor that brings communities together. We need a mayor that is transparent and accountable. I want to thank the two courageous women who spoke up about the harassment and bullying they received at the hands of Mayor Steve Lee and his associates. Linda and Jax, you are my heroes. You bravely came forward and shared your stories. It was when I heard your stories, I found my own words, my own memories. The harassment and the bullying that they received, I received in 2012. The online shaming from fake accounts, the bullying, the calls from blocked numbers, the systematic and continued attacks, the threats of harm to your family, the shaming within your own community, the constant attacks. Through their stories, I saw the same patterns. It happened to me, like I said, in 2012. Steve Lee and his associates came after me. They attempted to challenge and overthrow my appointment to the school board. Then, the next day, the online harassment began. The name calling, the shaming, the calls from blocked numbers. I was referred to often as that woman and undeserving of being appointed to the school board. I wish I spoke up in 2012 and exposed Steve Lee and his vindictiveness. But like most women, I remained silent and focused on just being a trustee and serving our 63,000 students. It was no longer about me, but serving our wonderfully diverse community. I am known as a social justice warrior at the school district. I fight to defend the rights of all of our students and families, especially those that are underrepresented and have the greatest needs. But I will not be silenced anymore. I will defend the rights of others when they are attacked. The attacks on my character increased when I joined local women in denouncing Mr. Lee's behavior. Last night, he came after me again with the attacks during our school board meeting. He sent his associates to attack my character. My 8 years of public service and leadership on the school board and in this community stands and remains strong. I love Elk Grove, and I have worked very hard in this community for the last almost 30 years. I have lifted communities, and I have helped them through my leadership on the school board, through the food bank, through the teen center, and my work through Rotary. But I will always stand up against a bully, and we have a bully named Steve Lee. And I have a message to you, Mayor Lee. I am not afraid of you. To the City Council, Steve Lee must be censured and held accountable for his bad behavior. I implore you to seek the grand jury to investigate his behavior. He used the City Council meeting to attack private citizens. That is not acceptable behavior for our mayor, to come after private citizens. He has abused his power, his oath of office. He has abused his seat as the mayor. It is time to hold the bully at City Hall accountable. Thank you. Nancy.
I too owe a debt of gratitude to Linda Vu and Jax Chung, two local women who bravely spoke out and made me and many others aware that the harassment that we had encountered was not an isolated incident. My experiences with Steve Lee began in 2014 when we were both running for the same city council seat. In the course of that campaign, Mr. Lee behaved in very unethical, unprofessional, and dishonorable ways. He initiated a whisper campaign complete with fake emails and other shady tactics you've already heard of to impugn my character, to suggest that I was immoral, and to try to do damage to me, not just politically, but professionally and personally. When he went after my family, he crossed the line. Many people who are not involved in politics shrug this off and say, this is just politics as usual. But as someone who's been involved in politics, mostly for other people's campaigns, I can tell you without question, this is not politics as usual. Ever since Mr. Lee became politically active in the city of Elk Grove, women have not had the freedom to involve themselves in public service and in politics. We didn't know that this was a pattern up until these two brave women spoke up this summer. So now that we know that we've all been experiencing the same abuse and harassment and retaliation, we're here to say enough is enough. The City Council needs to act tonight to draw a clear line to say this is not acceptable. Women in this city should be free to participate in their governance, to voice their opinions as private citizens, as journalists. So with that, we're going to ask the City Council, please censure Mr. Lee. Please act on the policy proposals which Ms. Moreno has described earlier, and do everything that you can to make real the rights of women to fully participate in governance and politics in the city of Elk Grove. Enough is enough. With that, we're going to take questions. If you will please let me know your name and affiliation.
If there are no questions, thank you so much, guys.
We're not going to take it anymore. We are not going to take it
and that the questions are going to come out attacking your character. And I just have to say that that hasn't been the case for me. And 99% of the feedback I've gotten has been positive and supportive. And I am so grateful to each and every one of you for being here and for being, like I said on my Facebook post, really the hands that are holding me up right now, because it's really scary to go up against someone with so much power. And you all have just been so amazing, and I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because we couldn't do this without the women supporting us, and men and allies supporting us, and making sure that our story is believed. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
So I would say, echo some of the same comments. You all give me so much courage. It's been a painful ride since coming forward. I've had nothing but amazing support, but I do get attacked. My character was attacked last night at the school board meeting from anonymous emails and online troll, and that's okay. That's okay, because I'm strong and I am resilient, and I am here standing because I have the support of my beautiful community. I've had so many teachers and educators reaching out, outpouring of love and support, and a lot of support from all of you. You give me the courage and the strength to fight for this city, the city that I love, the city that we all love. We are reclaiming City Hall for the people, not the bully in office.